Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another audio commentary by Moltrap and Klazart, and this is Game 2 of Much versus FireBatHero. If you have not seen Game 1, you should go back and watch that first, because it doesn't really make sense to watch matches out of order. But in any case, this is Game 2, and if you're still listening, then you are probably uh, in the knowledge that FireBatHero did, in fact, lose very, very badly to Much in the first game. Got humiliated, scouts all over the place, just absolutely Much slaughtered his forces every single time they engaged each other. So FireBatHero looking a little bit sullen here in preparation for the second match. We're going to see if he can pull out something a little bit better than last game to try and put up a decent fight against Much this time around.
Yeah, I think this match is actually going to be played on Othello, so I'm looking forward to this. It is a fun map. It leaves just there's so many open spaces, and it just allows people to do all these sorts of crazy things and flanking and attacks. And I think personally that probably favors a Protoss player a little bit versus Terran player. Although statistics in general are fairly even on this map, it seems to be a fairly balanced map overall. Much starting up at the top right-hand corner of the map, playing Protoss in red at the 1 o'clock position, and FireBatHero at the bottom left-hand corner of the map, playing Terran in teal. Oh, by the way, just to let you guys know, Moletrap has started up a new website, which contains provocative photographs of all the SC2GG.com commentators, barring Peanut, of course, because it's an all-male commentary website, and also contains stories and things like that. So just check it out. You can find the link on I'mAGullibleFool.com. So it's only $10 per month subscription fee to access all the exclusive and unrestricted content, uncensored content. So make sure you make sure you guys check that out. Meanwhile, game 2 going up. Much humiliated FireBatHero badly in the first game, and if you've had the first game spoiled for you by me saying that, then it's your own fault, because Moletrap already gave you a warning at the start of the video. But yeah, FireBatHero has been humiliated, and I'm sure Mush will be looking to repeat the same. FireBatHero needs to keep his cool here. That's one of the things when people start doing these kind of things against you, like using scouts and stuff, it can probably make the player lose their cool. And it's more than just, I think it's more than just an effort to just humiliate the player. I think it's also a little bit of a psychological weapon that you can use in StarCraft to break your opponent's confidence. And that's the big question here, whether FireBatHero has any confidence remaining to try and pull this one back.
Yeah, FireBatHero definitely, he's vulnerable to that sort of thing. I mean, we saw him like basically get crushed, absolutely crushed, emotionally crushed, when he lost the game in the Pro League finals of last season rather, and so FireBatHero, not exactly the most collected person necessarily. He definitely gloats when he wins, but when he loses, he doesn't take it terribly well. So there is that, and like I said, he did look kind of sullen in the beginning there. By the way, my site is a little still under construction, so don't bag on it too much just yet. But in any case, Much is going to get a quick scout in on FireBatHero's base here. Much scouting early, both games so far, and it paid off for him last time to kind of know a little bit what was going on. It didn't pay off in the grand scheme of things, obviously, because there's only so much you can tell in the first few minutes there. FireBatHero actually has not even produced a Marine yet, it looks like, unless there's one on his ramp that I haven't seen, and it doesn't look like there is. So it looks like he's going to be just saving up those minerals, possibly going for an expansion. Yeah, he's gone down to 1 SCV on his gas mines, and he's got his factory up, so he's probably just going to go straight into a command center, get that expansion up and running. Othello is pretty good, pretty easy to defend, especially with Terran tech and that sort of thing, and so now he's getting Marine, now that he's got all of his economy and his tech going and all that stuff. Which I think is a smart move. He's going to have to do a little bit more micro here once the Zealot comes in. He did not see it beforehand this time. And the Zealot taking a pot shot at the Marine. Oh, not a second one. The Marine trying to get back into his base, but the Zealot has a head start on him. The Zealot is going to be able to get into his base. Oh, no! Much putting down a proxy pylon on the opposite side of FireBatHero's base. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see maybe some extra proxy gates, or maybe some hidden tech or something like that. It'll be interesting to see what he does. Oh, the Marine barely gets away, but FireBatHero is going to have to show off some more of his macro skills to deal with this. Oh, the Marine goes down. So FireBatHero in a little bit of trouble here. He's getting some early pressure put on him, and there's going to be some proxy stuff coming at him pretty quickly here.
Yeah, I expected a robotics facility to go down. That's an ideal place to hide a robotics facility against a Terran opponent, and it obviously gives him a short distance for a drop. The problem for for FireBatHero is that he's lost 2 of his Marines already. So he's produced 5 Marines, but he's only got 3 sitting there. SCV now going in, not able to get up the ramp, and Dragoon managed just between the Dragoon and the Zealot managed to just kill the SCV, so he's not actually going to get the Scout, and that's probably going to be what's going to put the nail in the coffin for FireBatHero here. And if FireBatHero now chooses to expand,
Yeah.
he's just gonna have no chance whatsoever of defending this. It'll be interesting to see whether he's continuing to pump out the siege tanks. So he hasn't decided to put the command center down yet, but it looks like he's probably just gonna push out a little bit with this. But the problem is because he lost those 2 Zealots, his push is gonna be that much weaker. He's only got 4 Marines and a siege tank when he could have had 6 Marines and a siege tank, or he could have had the 4 Marines earlier and used up less resources. I suppose it's only 100 minerals, but earlier on in the game, 100 minerals could mean a lot. He's putting his expansion down right now. It'll be interesting whether or not FireBatHero decides to whether Much tries to again go for a DT rush, I haven't seen the Citadel bottom. We saw a very early robotics facility, so I have a feeling it's probably going to be Reavers coming from him to drop Much, and the robotics support bay is indeed up in Much's main. He's got a couple of Dragoons out, he's got a couple of Zealots out, he's got 3 Dragoons and a Zealot, it would look like, and I think that would probably be more than enough to defend against what FireBatHero is using to push out against it. The key is whether or not he should be able to, and actually the factory is floating over in the direction of the robotics facility, the proxy robotics facility, where the shuttle is waiting and where the Reaver is going to pop out from, but I'm not sure if that is in invisible range. I don't think the circle, because the factory is sort of floating northwards, it's actually, I think, just going to miss it. So that's going to be crucial, and it's going to be unfortunate for FireBatHero. He's going to be huge trouble here. By the way, I just want to say, I don't think that Much really has been doing an early scout either in game 1 or in this game, Moltrap, because I think he's been sending a scout both times after he starts up his gateway, and I would say that would be a fairly standard Protoss scout. I think the earlier scout is usually after the pylon, but the Reaver now out for Much, and I think FireBatHero is really going to struggle to defend this. I think he might have actually seen this coming because he's got vultures in play and he's trying to put spider mines down. So I think he might have seen the robotics facility, the hidden robotics facility. He is putting spider mines down behind his mineral lines. Reaver dropping. The problem for Much obviously is going to be he doesn't know where those spider mines are. So it'll be a question of how much damage he can inflict here, and a turret up as well. So good defense by FireBatHero.
I think he may have seen those spider mines dropping down when they came out, because he seems to be cautious about that spot there. Whoa! Oh, Spider-Man barely missing the Reaver on that occasion. So yeah, FireBatHero putting together a pretty decent defense there, and Much was not able to get any shots off on his SCV line at all, and that is pretty critical. I mean, that means basically Much has invested all this money into the Reavers and what have you, and it hasn't paid off at all for him. So I mean, he's going to have that Reaver for potential engagements later on, unless he goes and he's going to try and continue to do some harassment here. He's got an observer in the area so he can actually see where the mines are, and so he's going to be able to not land his Reaver on it basically. So he might actually be able to do a little bit of damage after all. Now he's finally getting hits on the tank, and that is the critical point here. And he's actually going in the main as well, occupying FireBatHero's forces in the back of his base, while going in the front of his base as well. The Zealot taking out the 2 mines in the front there, and he's gonna be able to. He snipes the tank, but FireBatHero is gonna be able to put tanks up on the ridge and one in the back of his base. So I don't think it's gonna hurt him too badly. Much does get the Reaver off in the back, but it's just attacking the Scarab, and again, not too much damage done here. So FireBatHero putting up a pretty good defense. And it looks like he's probably going to be able to. Oh, the SCVs are probably going to get a kill. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought those. Wow. Okay, never mind. I thought those Dragoons were going to get driven off by the tanks over there, but it looks like the other tank that he had to fall back to take care of the Reaver. And so FireBatHero actually stopped from mining at his expansion. I thought he was going to be able to hold that, but he actually took a little bit more damage than I expected there.
Yeah, Moletrap going to sleep for 2 seconds while FireBatHero gets killed. 2 more Reavers getting dropped in behind FireBatHero's lines. Actually, it was brilliant by Much there, because he did a double drop on the double attack. First, he lured away FireBatHero's forces into his main with the Reaver, using the Observer there to actually spot up the spider mines. And that was very clever from him, because it did look initially like that attack had failed. And then while the forces were busy, he came in with 2 Zealots and Dragoons. He sniped the siege tank, and then obviously he was always going to be able to position those 4 Dragoons behind FireBatHero's mineral line of the Natural Expo, outside of the range of the siege tank that was positioned up on the ramp, up on the cliff in the main. And you can see that lone siege tank there, and he's actually now forced the command center to lift by virtue of those 4 Dragoons. Meanwhile, he got a second Reaver out. So Much persisting with his attack and really doing a great job of multitasking, yet FireBatHero not able to keep up. And I think FireBatHero has now taken significant amount of damage to his forces, and the fact that he was forced to lift that command center. I'm not sure exactly how many SCVs he lost a few, but I'm suspecting that he probably pulled most of them to his main from the density of the amount of SCVs that he had in his main, and that suggests to me, and that's probably why Much was really keen on getting those 2 Reavers in there trying to get a shot off. The FireBatHero did manage to just about successfully defend that. He drops another couple of Reavers in. This time the Reaver is within range of a Siege Tank because FireBatHero has moved the Siege Tank closer in. He's got a turret up as well. Much is doing a great job of avoiding FireBatHero's scant defenses and getting those shots off, and he's also done a great job of picking off those Siege Tanks. Looks like he's going to take another Siege Tank down, and really Much is laying some serious pain on FireBatHero with those Reavers.
Yeah, he's doing a lot of damage to the forces. He hasn't really gotten, I think he's gotten maybe 2 or 3 SCVs with his Reavers, but he's taken out slowly over the course of time a lot of forces, and over this entire set, I don't know, but this entire this entire game, he hasn't lost the Reavers. They're still there. He hasn't had to make replacement Reavers or anything like that. They've just been the same Reavers going around and completely harassing the heck out of FireBatHero. And now he's barely going to be able to pick them back up into his shuttle before they get killed. And Much almost taking out the factory. Oh, kills the SCV that was going to repair the factory. He's now forcing that factory to lift off and fly away to a safer position. He might actually lose the Reaver here. No, he's going to pick it up again. So well played by Much. He still has all of his forces there, and in the meantime, he's gotten a 3rd base up. And FireBatHero's barely gotten back to mining at his 2nd base here. So FireBatHero's way behind economically there. So oh, don't do it Much. Don't do it Much. You're gonna lose your Reavers if you drop them out again. In any case, it's gonna be tough for FireBatHero to catch up here.
Yeah, Much actually finding a spot to drop. I didn't think there would be a spot outside of the Siege Tank. Okay, he was within range of the Siege Tank. But Much has done a brilliant job of avoiding the fire or absorbing fire from the Siege Tanks and rotating his Reavers around while their shields regen. And just his placement and his drops have been downright perfect. FireBatHero finally has managed to secure some sort of defense. But really, this is just shown classical Protoss harass play, which just makes it impossible for the Terran player to do anything at all while just keeping him completely on his toes and getting advantage. And this is just a textbook. This game should be recorded and saved and sent to any player who wants to play Protoss and wants to be a Protoss player in the future, just to show you how to lay the hurt on a Terran opponent, because Much has really schooled FireBatHero here. FireBatHero managed to get a couple of Vultures into Much's main, just sneaking them around past the ramp and doing a little bit of harass, and Much being forced to fight them just off with Zealots, but he manages to take them down, and Much now being forced into being a little bit more circumspect, and he's not able to attack as freely because of those roaming and marauding Vultures, because he has got that off expansion, which has 2 avenues of attack to it, so he can't just put his forces in one place and defend them comfortably. But nevertheless, he's taken a significant lead in this matchup. He's got that off expo going, he's got his Temple Archives building, and usually you need a Protoss player when they go for that Reaver drop build to do some damage, to do some early damage, and I think Much has done more than enough to give himself a strong lead in this game, and FireBatHero just has looked 2nd place throughout the series so far, and it certainly looks like he's in trouble right now, and it doesn't look like he's being much better at coping with Much than Nada was in his game. In the Terran versus Protoss matchup on these same maps.
Yeah. FireBatHero has just kind of looked, like you said, just 2nd place. He just has not really had anything to answer any of Much's, and like you said, I have to agree. Much has been absolutely genius the way that he's been just doing his drops and stuff. Oh, luring some mines into those tanks. Only 1 tank gets taken out of here, but then the Reaver gets dropped down. A nice Scarab taking out 2 tanks. Clutch Reaver with like 1 hit left on it. Gets a Scarab off, killing 2 tanks in the middle of the battle, and that was, at the very least, FireBatHero's last chance to secure that 3rd expansion there. Looks like he might even lose his secondary in this battle. I think this is pretty much GG. Speed Zealot streaming in for Much here. FireBatHero looking very downtrodden there. He kind of realizes that he's pretty messed up, and oh, the command center goes down. The command center burns up. And he's even lost that base. So FireBatHero functioning out of 1 base right now, and Much has 3 bases fully operational at this point in time. So it was not until 13 minutes into the game that FireBatHero finally took out the shuttle with the Reavers and everything, and it was just far too late, because at first Much didn't get a lot of harassment in, but like you said, over time he did more than enough damage to make up for that. And now he's just all up in his main. It looks like he's probably going to be able to defend this. Much has stopped sending in reinforcements. He's just going to let this group do what they can. while they can. But next, oh, now he is sending in reinforcements, so he might actually try and do a killing blow here, here and now. And FireBatHero having to take a bunch of SCVs off the line to deal with a couple zealots. Uh, it's just things not looking good for him at all. I think it's only a matter of time at this point.
Yeah, we saw a Starport and Arbitrous Tribunal as well in Much's base. I wouldn't be surprised if he decides to produce a couple of scouts again just to lay the hurt down a little bit more in FireBatHero, just to push him over the edge. FireBatHero has looked almost like he was going to start crying any second a couple of times, but Much might want to actually just make him cry. It looks like
I hope
FireBatHero
he does.
had another command center up that he was building inside his main, and he's been forced to lift it and float it off. And FireBatHero, Much has just put down 5 Stargates, so we are going to see mass scouts, and I think Much is on purpose pulling his forces back. And I had a feeling that he was going to stop, and
Yes,
this was what I was
scout.
thinking in my head. I was like, you've got him on the back foot, Much. Just pull back, don't kill his main, because this is, you see, because FireBatHero has already lost 1 game, so this is the 2nd game, and traditionally players are very, very reluctant to type GG in the deciding matchup. If that's going to mean they go out of a tournament, they don't type GG, they force the opponent to almost finish them off, and while they have any units and resources remaining, they don't GG. So Much, I thought Much might do this, and that's exactly what he's done. He's actually pulled his forces back and allowed FireBatHero to come back and take his natural export once he's got such a massive lead on it, and now he's producing scouts for 4 Stargates, and I think he's just going to try and push FireBatHero over the edge, because FireBatHero looked like he was going to cry at some point, and I think Much is going to try and make sure that he does.
Oh man, I hope he cries. That would be great. Oh man, that's hilarious. He's even got the Arbiter Tribunal, and he's not even producing Arbiters. He knows that's how far ahead he is.
Yeah, he had initially that's what the Stargate was for, but I had a feeling he would switch to scouts.
And now he's got 4 scouts out. He's producing, it looks like, 2 more scouts. 1 more, yeah. There goes the 3rd. And getting another base as well, just in case, I think it's probably almost out of habit that he's getting another base. I mean, once you get to a certain point, you expand. When you're losing minerals in your main, you expand, that sort of thing. So he's just kind of doing it out of habit. You kind of see that in like BattleNet Attack. Even when a programmer is playing someone far inferior to them, they'll still, play their top and, do what they can. 5 scouts out now for Much. He's probably going to have 7 or 8 here. This is absolutely ridiculous, and this is very, very awesome. Quickly, for those of you that haven't heard about it, FireBatHero basically, like Clausart alluded to earlier, completely ridiculed Savior after beating him in several different occasions, did these ridiculous ceremonies, dancing around and generally being an arse and that sort of thing. And FireBatHero has basically not been answered by Savior. Much is a teammate of Savior's, and so Much has been able to get back at Savior by humiliating FireBatHero as well. And here come the scouts. Oh, I wish I had like Flight of the Valkyries queued up in a P3 player right now or something like that. Here's the finishing blow. As soon as he sees those scouts, I think FireBatHero is going to know what's going on. He's trying to take.
Well, he saw those scouts already with the. He saw the scouts already with the spider mines in the middle of the map, but he doesn't have any anti-air bar that 1 turret. He's trying to build more turrets as quickly as he can with loads of his SCVs. But this is just painful. The siege tanks are just getting picked off by the scouts. He's only lost about 3 or 4 siege tanks with the scouts. I mean, FireBatHero had to know when Much pulled back after that initial attack that Much was going to be toying with him. He just had to know that Much wasn't, Much was in a position to finish him off, and the only reason he didn't finish him off was because he wanted to toy with him like this. And it is cruel. I mean, I know FireBatHero deserves it. I know, like, I've called him FireBatZero on the occasion, and Much has turned him into FireBatZero in this game. And looks like FireBatHero is going to at least try and kill those scouts and get some form of revenge, but Much is all in his base now. Stargates don't look like they're producing scouts anymore. He's got a couple of Archons coming in as well, just for the sheer hell of it. Producing a couple of High Templar, making them into Archons. And it's just more pain, because obviously those Archons don't trigger in spider mines, and FireBatHero doesn't really have much in the way of ground units. So Much doesn't seem to be exulting in this. I mean, he's clearly humiliating FireBatHero, but he doesn't seem to be taking as much pleasure from it as you might think. His expression seems to be one that he's still playing a very serious game, and as if this is just normal run-of-the-mill StarCraft. This time FireBatHero does GG, wow, that's humiliation. And I think there might be a couple of not crocodile. I think there might be a couple of real tears there behind those glasses. But GG, Much progresses through to the next round. FireBatHero emphatically defeated and turned into FireBatZero by Much.